everybody. So I'm gonna start this video off saying I'm sorry that I haven't really been posting a lot of manga anime. I think I've been still doing pretty good about having a video for you guys on Thursday. Because I just posted, I know that one about the Disney manga, but I haven't done I feel like a really serious one for a while. So I decided to come on here and do kind of like a thought piece on, this is about One Piece, so this is about devil fruits and Haki. And I've been going back and forth in my mind kind of how I feel about the magic system in One Piece, and how I think it's gonna lead up to kind of the battles that we have coming up, and maybe some of the future content that we're gonna be getting. Something that really stood out to me when it comes to this is something that Kaido says back in Wano is Haki is going to be more, I can't remember what the exact quote was, but Haki is going to be like the ultimate power, and devil fruits are not always gonna necessarily mean you're gonna win a battle. So I thought that aspect was interesting. Kaido, and yes, this is gonna have spoilers, probably more. I think I'm gonna stop at Wano. I'm not gonna really talk about Egghead or Albath too much. But I am gonna talk about Wano. So, Kaido does both. He has Conqueror's Haki, he has Armament Haki, and he's just huge. And it's like, the reason why I'm gonna go a little bit into why I didn't like Kaido as a villain is because of that. It's like he's just a brute, and I think we're gonna get more of his backstory maybe future on, because that's kind of what they're hinting at. I'm thinking Kaido's dead. Big Mom is still a big question. I think Zeus wouldn't be in the story if she was. But we will see. I'm not quite sure, unless he's his own identity, but I don't think so, because he was kind of her minion, so I don't know. But anyway, they're kind of both on that realm of a mixture of the two. And I've noticed since we've had to go from pre-time skip to post, and now that Luffy knows Armament Haki, he knows Conquerors. I don't know if he's, what his observational is. Other crewmates seems like they have more of the other stuff. We more see with Luffy Armament Haki and Conqueror's Haki. But what really pushed this quote to me was when Shanks hits Wano for a second and he blasts his Conqueror's Haki, and the radius that he fills, and he's able to be like, oh yeah, so I helped, okay, bye. So that tells me that Haki's going to be very important in these later attributes when it comes to how we're going to end up fighting a lot, especially when it comes to the Red Pirates and Straw Hats. That is going to be it's going to be really interesting of how they handle that, because of the fact that Shanks does not have any devil fruits on his crew. So it's going to be really interesting. They seem like they're one of the pirate crews that are very strong in Haki. Usopp's father, we already know, is the highest grade, it sounds like, in an observational. Usopp kind of follows that. We have Shanks with Conqueror's Haki. There's gonna be Armament Haki probably all over the place. So it's gonna be very interesting. And I think there's a couple of plus we have Fishman, so we have all their powers. So it's I think it's going to be more of, it doesn't matter what their devil fruit is, it's how they're going to use their devil fruit. Which comes to the point of, what are the pros and cons of having a devil fruit power? Obviously, some of the pros is a lot of them are quite strong. Like Law's room fruit that he has, very, very powerful. But then you have some of them like the jack fruit, the jacket fruit, where you turn into a jacket. You have the guy that turns into a giraffe, the woman that turns into like a soap thing. If he wasn't fighting, if she was not fighting Sanji, if she was fighting like a Zoro or something, she would have hit the floor in 2 seconds. Like I don't think it's like a very extremely powerful devil fruit, and we kind of see that later on. I mean, Water 7 is still very early on, where I don't feel like the crew, it's still post time skip, so the crew hasn't really gotten their full level of powers like they do in post. So there's that. And then it's the ability of not being able to swim. Which, you are talking about pirates, but at the same time, I guess as long as your ship doesn't blow up, you don't have to touch the water. I guess it's fine. It's just a weakness. But I think something with devil fruits versus Haki is that you really have to find the strength in your devil fruit. So, I mean, Robin does a really good job with this, with being, she just knows how to use her devil fruit. She's had it since she was very young, and she's gotten to play with it. It's like the same as Luffy. Water 7, we kind of got the how it looks like when you're trying to learn it, and I feel like the two people, the draft guy and the soap, like, I think if they knew it better, it might have been a different fight. But Zoro, like, that was not, if I compare it to like Lucci and Luffy, when it comes to that, like, to me, Zoro wasn't having as hard of a time. And if Soap Lady was a man, I don't think Sanji would have had a hard time with that fight either. So I think it was just, and CP0 has their own, like, abilities and stuff that Sanji's able to pick up, because he's able to do the jumping in the sky and stuff, which is really cool. I can't remember what that's called, and I don't think it's a Haki. It's a different form of power that we really don't talk about too much. I think the last time we heard is like Water 7 about all their stuff. But we've had incidents where, like, you're able to overpower a devil fruit by just throwing seawater on them, and then we see that in Alabasta. But I think a lot of it is, like, if Robin got Armament Haki, which she doesn't have it yet. It doesn't look like. I know there's been some talk that she does. I think it was more of like, maybe like an essence of her demon coming out. I think is what more, like, she would be nonstop. Like, she's already nonstop. She's, pretty powerful in her own right. But when I think about it, I think Shanks conquers Haki-wise so far. My prediction is he's still stronger than Luffy when it comes to conquers Haki. Now, I could be wrong. Luffy could get a very big power jump by the time we hit Shanks. I don't know if, because we're in Albath right now, he seems like Shanks, it does not seem like he's there. So I think Shanks is going to be probably in Laugh Tale by the time we end the story. So I don't think we're going to get the meetup between Shanks and Luffy in Albath like we thought we were going to. Like, I think Shanks has already left. Bye-bye, Shanks. But I just don't think like, we have some strong Haki, like, with Zoro. We have his Conqueror's Haki, which we found out in Wano. He's had observational Haki, I think, since Alabasta. He's has Armament Haki. Like, he is probably the second strongest, like, I think that can go up to, comparable to where the Shanks pirates actually are. And he, because he has such a wide range. It doesn't matter that he doesn't have, like, full capability of one, but he has such a wide range, and he's able to use it smartly. Sanji has really good Armament Haki. So I think it's really going, the Shanks fight is really going to be where Haki is going to shine, and whoever's the strongest is going to win. I don't think it's really going to matter who has what devil fruit. Now, I think we're going to see those coming up in that fight. And that could be where Luffy wins, because, you know, Shanks already only has one arm, but his arm, but what he can do with one arm is very impressive. We saw that in the kid fight. So I am going to go a little bit into what happens with Egghead a little bit when it comes to the fights. Yeah, he was able to take Kid down. Kid, to me, is not very powerful when it comes to, like, the overall, like, I think he got a really big ego boost because he took down Big Mom. But at the same time, and it's the same with Kaido, like, they were fighting both of those huge opponents for a very long time. And a lot of different groups fought these two big opponents. So just because you got the final blow does not mean you're anything. Even though I love Kid to death. Like, Kid is one of my favorite characters, especially when we're talking about the worst generation. Like, don't get me wrong. But going against somebody like Shanks, like, I don't even know if Big Mom and Kaido would have gone against Shanks, to really be honest with you. They could have possibly won. We don't know. We didn't get to see them fighting, so I can't tell you if they would have won or not. But I don't think, especially a lot of the stuff that we've learned about Shanks recently, but I don't think they would have won. Like, I think Shanks would have still outbeat him, and his crew seems like they're more powerful than what they look like. Like, we see them mostly just being like, you know, chill out dudes, like, laying on the beach. Like, that's kind of how we've been seeing them. And the last time we really saw them fighting was in the East Blue, and they were, like, pretty easy bandits. So we haven't really seen Shanks really get to use his power too much. Minus in Wano real quickly, he's like, okay, I'm going to throw some Conqueror's Haki. Okay, have a nice day. And I don't think that's going to be, like, the truth of everybody else's power that we haven't seen yet. Now, I'm going to talk about just kind of like the overall 4 Emperors of the Sea. So, and their crew. So, we already kind of talked about Shanks. It's going to be a battle of Haki when it comes to Shanks. I think, as far as what I can see right now, Shanks' crew is the most powerful when it comes to Haki. Now, when we're talking about Luffy and the Straw Hats, and then we'll get to the other two in just a second, he has a mixture of a whole bunch of things. And Shanks also does have Fishman as well. But Luffy has Devil Fruit. He has Haki. He just has smart people. Because I don't really think Nami has, like, any type of Haki. And that can be something that maybe we get in the future. I don't know. From where we are right now, I don't know when we're going to get to Laugh Tale. Like, we could have another big, huge time skip between Elbath and Lapto, which is what it's sounding like. It's sounding like they're going to need to do another power-up. Because I don't think the Haki's strong enough. Like, I think a lot more of the Straw Hats need to learn Haki. Like, it's getting to that point where I think we're going to get another time skip. Even if it's not as big as a 2-year time skip, I don't think we're going to get that big of a time jump. I think it's probably going to, like, be more like a year and a half. But yeah, Nami, really good navigator. She knows how to use that her weather staff really well. But there's not much that she does Haki-wise. And I haven't read the 2 newest chapters of Elbath, so if stuff like this happens in those 2 chapters, please don't let me know. As of right now, I have not read them. But, and it's the same with Robin. As far as we can tell, I'm going to say she does not have Armin and Haki. She's going to have to learn it. Who else? I mean, Usopp has observational, which is fine. I don't think he needs anything else. And then we have Zoro, that is like a mixture of all of them, pretty much. And then we have Sanji with Armin Haki. He could get observational Haki. I don't think he'll get Conquerors. I think we have between Luffy and Zoro, there's, like, if we have all 3 of them that can do Conquerors Haki, I think it would just be a little overpowered. But at the same time, like Robin says in Wano, they're the wings of the captain. So I could kind of see Sanji maybe getting Conquerors just because, you know, that would be a big, huge blast. And then, you know, that would probably overthrow Shanks if it's not just an independent fight between him and Luffy, which that sounds right. Like, with how Oda's been setting that up for like over 1,000 chapters, it has to be a battle between Shanks and Luffy. Nobody else can get involved. It has to be a battle. So as much as it makes sense, and I'm thinking, this is where I think it's going to make more of the sense, is when we get to, like, Blackbeard. Blackbeard, to me, I think is going to be, like, the big, huge wild card. I really don't think we've seen how powerful Blackbeard has gotten. With having 2 devil fruits, we've seen, like, bits and pieces, but I don't think we've really... Sorry, guys. I kicked my stand for my phone, but I don't think we've seen Blackbeard's abilities yet. And with him being able to do 2 devil fruits, which is something that we haven't, like, lore-wise, seems like it cannot even happen. He's a big, huge wild card that I don't even think we really know yet. So I could see Sanji completing that Conquerors Haki, and we have to use we have to have at least 3 people able to use Conquerors Haki. We don't know where Shanks is going to line up yet. Now, it could be the factor of Shanks just wants to know Luffy's power. They do that fight, kind of like Roger and Whitebeard, where they just kind of play fight. And they just see each other's power. If they respect it, they move on. And that might be kind of where we're leaning. If we are leaning towards that way, I could see Shanks' crew being part of the Grand Fleet. I think Shanks also has some type of Grand Fleet, possibly. Because he seems like he's gotten, like, Elbath on his side now. But you also have Elbath kind of on Luffy's side, so I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it's like Shanks is going to turn evil at all. I think it's just he's having fun. I think he's been bored. He hasn't really been around all this chaos, and he wants to join in. I think is what it's really going to end up being, because it's really weird that he's like, oh, I want to go find the One Piece now. Like, he's just like, okay, that sounds like a good time. And I think that's going to be something that is going to be really interesting when we get to that point where Shanks is going to kind of lean towards, because he could also be a very big wild card. I mean, not power wise. I think we have a good idea of where his crew is, because we have seen a few fights with them. I just don't think the Law and Blackbeard fight is enough to really say, this is how I feel about where Blackbeard's power really is. So we will see. I'm kind of curious. Segueing into Blackbeard, our wild card. He has, as far as I know, and I feel like we really don't know his crew. Like, I still, as long as he's had his crew, I really don't think I don't really think we really know his crew. I'm guessing it's a mixture of both Devil Fruit and, we have a scene with, Ice Guy that I can never remember his name, ex-general of the, military, and one of them says, like, hey, I've been waiting for a Devil Fruit. This is the one I want. So that tells me that he still hasn't collected all his Devil Fruits. But at the same time, I would not be killing this guy because he is ultimately strong and he knows things. So I don't think, and that, I may not say Akechi, but I'm thinking Persona 5. I cannot remember his name. Sorry, guys. That's why it's a lot. Let's chat. Like, I don't do research when I just come here and talk. But anyways, so yeah, so he has not done his full goal yet, which is having a full crew of Devil Fruit users. So are we gonna get that by the time we get to Laugh Tale? I don't know. Or is his thing like, because I mean, I think that's why would you... See, this is my thing. Why would you kidnap Garp and Kobe, minus that they're military? Because neither of them have Devil Fruit powers. Minus Garp is really strong, and I'll get to that in a minute, why I think Haki's actually stronger than any Devil Fruit, because he destroys a whole island. Garp does, with just Armin and Haki. It's very impressive. But that kind of gives me the thing of, well, so we have two coins. We have somebody that thinks Devil Fruits are like the ultimate power, and then we have Shanks' crew that is going to show us Haki is the ultimate power. So we can't really tell like which one is like the most powerful force. And then we have Luffy kind of in the middle, where he's a Devil Fruit user, and his crew has Devil Fruit users. Plus, we have extremely high Haki users. Like, I'm not gonna bring Usopp, Sanji, and Zoro down, because they are still very powerful. Like, what Usopp does in Dressrosa, we haven't really seen it recently. But what he's able to do in Dressrosa is very, very strong observational Haki that he was able to make that shot. So I'm not going to downplay Luffy's Haki users, but if it came down to which is the most powerful force, I'm still thinking it's going to be Haki. I think it's still going to be Shanks' crew. Blackbeard just has his black hole fruit, which it's very, very scary. Because he can create black holes wherever he wants to. There doesn't seem like there's much rules when it comes to that. And I think that's something that Oda kind of, where it gets wishy-washy with how power works, especially when it comes to Devil Fruit. Like, we know, like, kind of the cons, but, like, are there extreme limits? And it doesn't seem like there is. It seems like if you know how to use your devil fruit, um, you know how to use your devil fruit. Like, there's no limits. It's kind of like leave it to the imagination, which is kind of why, Luffy has this godlike, thing going for him, because his devil fruit, as far as we know, seems like it's like the ultimate devil fruit you want, because it's very based off of your imagination. Like, he thinks he has the gum fruit, so he does gum fruit powers. So that's the thing. And then you have Buggy, which just keeps on filling up. It's lovely. So Buggy has, the benefits Buggy has is he has Crocodile Mihawk. I don't even like saying Buggy is Emperor of the Sea. It kind of bugs me, because it should be either Crocodile or Mihawk, but I think Mihawk and Crocodile are pretty smart. Like, I think if they're ever in a tight situation and they need to leave Buggy behind, they're going to leave Buggy behind and go on their merry little way. So, and we know Crocodile is very strong. We know Mihawk is strong. Mihawk still is the strongest swordsman that, like, is listed. As far as what we know from what Zoro keeps on saying, which is, I need to beat Mihawk. Now, is he legit the strongest? I don't know. Like, I feel like there's probably some people in the military stronger than Mihawk, but I think there is a reason why Mihawk was chosen as a warlord. Because to me, he's not much of a pirate, really. Like, we don't really know enough about Mihawk for me to be like, oh yeah, he was like the ultimate pirate or anything like that. I think he was like probably a pirate hunter is kind of the thing. And maybe he became a pirate. I don't know. I don't really know Mihawk's story very much. I'm hoping we do get his backstory. I'm thinking once we get that Zoro Mihawk fight, we might learn a little bit more. But oh my goodness, I am so looking for the Mihawk. Looking forward to the Mihawk and Zoro fight. But we don't know about their Haki skills. So as of right now, kind of where I'm rating power-wise is I'm gonna put Blackbeard on top. I think Blackbeard is probably, like, one of the strongest ones. Like, you can disagree with me in the comments. Like, if you have another order that you think is the power dynamic between all of these, you can let me know in the comments. But right now, when it comes to a mixture of Haki and Devil Fruit, I'm still going to put Blackbeard on top because of his Black Hole Fruit. And then I'm going to put Luffy because he has a mixture of both. And then I'm going to still put Shanks underneath Luffy, even though I think they're tied, especially if we're just looking at Haki power. And then I'm going to put Buggy on the bottom. Like, I still think Luffy is going to become King of the Pirates. Like, I'm not doubting anything. Like, I don't think it's going to be something that Blackbeard is going to win this whole thing just because he is on top. I think it's just going to be a struggle. And I think when it comes to all that, we're forgetting about the Revolutionary Army. I think they're coming. I don't think Dragon's going to let his son fight alone when it comes to Blackbeard. I think we're going to be getting Garp out. Sorry if you haven't seen one of the more recent ones, but I think we're going to be getting Garp out. Now, where Garp's going to stand, I don't know. I think Kobe is going to be against the pirates, but it's going to be interesting because in all honesty, when we kind of consider what the government's doing and what the pirates are doing, I still think in some ways the pirates are still in the right. especially some of these pirates, like Blackbeard is in the wrong. But when it comes to Shanks, when it comes to Luffy, when it comes to Buggy, I'm also going to put where Blackbeard, I don't think he has good intentions. But when it comes to what Shanks and Luffy want and why they are against the government and the Revolutionary Army, like those three aspects, I think they are actually in the right. As far as what we can see, what we learned in Egghead, what the government's been hiding, what the government's, been, a lot of what's been hiding, but what they've done and who they've been blaming. So it's going to be interesting. I'm all down for the Celestial Dragons to be taken out. So what I think is going to happen is we're going to have Laugh Tale. I don't know if, what are they called? We just fought them in Egghead at the end. I can't remember what they're called. I'm so sorry, guys. If I wasn't using my phone for filming, I would be looking it up. But elders? Yeah, they're the 5 elders. Okay, so we already know that the 5 elders are powerful. So, and Emu is. But it depends on where we have that fight. I think we're going to be going to Laugh Tale. I think we're going to be finishing whatever the One Piece is. That's not going to be the end of it. We're going to have to go to the Celestial Kingdom, and we're going to have to deal with that after we finish looking for the One Piece. I think that's just going to be how it's going to order. So it just kind of really depends on how that all ends. But that's going to be something that I don't think we've really thought about. Like, I know, like, probably what everybody's been thinking, what's the One Piece? Why didn't Roger, like, it sounds like it's something that needs to be activated. Is as far as what we can tell from what we know so far. Is it something that needs to be activated? Now, why did Roger find it and not activate it? It doesn't seem like it's a treasure thing. It seems like it's something that needs to be activated. So I'm guessing it's probably some type of button that has to do something. And Roger's like, I'm not ready for it yet. So that's why I think it's going to be in that. Now, they're a whole different beast. We do not know anything about Emu. We have a lot of wild cards when it comes to a lot of the future fights because we have not seen what these people can do. So it's going to be interesting once we get there, kind of what the final verdict is. Now, there could be other powers out there as well. Like, I mean, we have CP9. Actually, it's CP0 now. I think most of them are in CP0. We have a lot of their powers that people can learn. Sanji's already learned one of them. So I would not be surprised if, maybe he learns more. We still have, Gamma, the Gamma equipment that we know Sanji still has. I know there's a lot of fear with him using it. And that's a whole nother kind of video I want to talk about is Sanji actually going to survive? I have my thoughts on that. Because they already have something that hints something like that. But I'm not going to get into it in a video here. I kind of do want to talk about Sanji a little bit because I think he's a really interesting character. And I I might do a video of just finding quotes from One Piece and making my predictions based off of quotes, because there is a lot of quotes, especially from Wano, that's been really sticking out to me recently. That's how this video came up. It was just a quote from Kaido that was just like, oh yeah, Haki's not, like, devil fruits aren't going to mean much. It's going to be Haki. So it's like, which is kind of flipping everything on its head, because it's like, it feels like everybody's been after these devil fruits. But when you look at the older generation, I'm so sorry this is a long video, guys. I'm almost done. But when we look at Garp and we look at Roger, which did not have any devil fruits, and how powerful they were, which is Haki, it kind of tells me that you don't necessarily need to go for devil fruits. And it doesn't seem like Garp never was like, I want a devil fruit. Like, he was like, I'm powerful enough with my Haki. And we're not even seeing him at his young age. We're not even seeing him when he was fighting with Roger. So it's like, we're seeing an old man with Haki, like, destroying, like, an island. So that's just the thing, is that I think it's going to come down to Haki's going to be stronger, and it's how you use devil fruits. Like, it's going to be interesting, because then we've had devil fruit users that don't use Haki that are pretty powerful, like Doflamingo, I don't think uses too much. I can't really remember. It's been so long since I've watched the Dressrosa arc and the war arc. They better let Doflamingo out. I need that level of chaos. I need chaos to come back to the fighting. And you know Doflamingo is not going to be with the government. So, and I think that's a theory too, that he could be coming back, and he could turn this all the way around. To me, he has one of the more powerful devil fruits. His string fruit, I think is what it's called, where he's able to control people with extremely powerful. Like, the man probably doesn't even need Haki because of how strong his devil fruit is. Like, he can control, it seems like, mostly anybody. It doesn't seem like there's a block to it. So, if he comes back to the story and then is able to control Blackbeard, I don't think we'll have a problem. Unless he uses Blackbeard as, you know. I mean, he is a level of chaos. Like, Doflamingo is a level of chaos that I don't think we've had as a villain for a very long time. But I digress. But, yeah, so I think it's going to be interesting. I think it just kind of depends what battle we're watching to see kind of who's going to prevail with what. But otherwise, thank you for coming. I know this has been kind of a long video. If you enjoy my content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm trying to post more kind of thought-provoking anime content, other than just my character analysis videos. Even though they're pretty thought-provoking, I like kind of going into some deeper topics. So hopefully you'll join me for this ride. I also do post book content. Mostly it's been anime manga content, usually Thursday and Friday, and then Sundays is usually my book content. Thursdays and Fridays is like anime manga, and then Sundays is usually my book content. But yeah, otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video. And I will be back with a video, actually probably pretty soon here, because I have a couple videos coming on Sunday. But there should be more anime manga. I'm slowing down with the book content because I just got added to readathons. So hopefully there's going to be more of the opposite, and we'll be back real soon. Bye!